YouTube. So I just got a few things on my mind. We're going to talk about a couple things. We're going to talk about, one, California drivers, and then two, we're going to talk about a couple gun law bullshit. So for one, let's start with the California drivers. And I should rephrase that. It's not just California drivers that are an issue. It's a lot of drivers across the U.S. Now, the biggest thing that I like to complain about is how people like to try to drive other people's cars while trying to drive their own. And let me explain that. Here's a good example of what happened yesterday. I was driving on Highway 20. Okay, heading into town, going to work. Passing lane comes up. I'm locked down at the speed limit. The speed limit's 55. I should say I'm doing about 60. Because a mile a minute, rounding it off, makes better sense for timing and everything. And it's all open road. It's all straightaway. So I'm locked down doing 60 miles an hour and the speed limit's 55. Well, a couple of jackasses over the course of the travel on the highway decide to pass me in the passing lane, on one of them in the passing lane, pull right in front of me and then slow down to 50 miles an hour. I go to pass them and they try to stop me. That's an example of driving someone else's car while driving your own. That type of crap will cause an accident. It is very unsafe. Now, before you guys get on me for speeding and all that, for doing 60 and at 55, there's plenty of statistical studies that have shown that speeding does not kill. What kills is other people driving other people's cars, going slow. In California, we have a law. When it's a double lane for your side, say, you got a slow lane and then you got a passing lane. There are signs that even state slower traffic to the right. I don't care if the speed limit's 55 and you want to do 50, you're supposed to be in the slow lane. I don't care if you're doing the speed limit or even a little bit above it. The slow lane is the cruising lane. The left lane is for passing. And a lot of other states like Texas strictly enforce that and will write tickets. California police are kind of lazy when it comes to that. But even then, you should still do the right thing. You should be in the slow lane. People don't do that. They'll run side by side with another car in the passing lane to prevent other people from passing. You're eliminating escape routes for people. What if somebody just lost their brakes and they're coming down a hill? They're not going to go into the oncoming. They're going to smack right into you. And it's not going to be their fault. You're going to be found at fault, especially if they have a dash cam. Okay? It's people like that that make the roads very unsafe. People that don't know how to drive. People that try to drive other people's cars. Basically being a-holes. Alright? Slower traffic to the right. If people want to go faster, go faster. Another law, too, that they don't teach you in driver's ed or tell you in the DMV. You got to find out for yourself. And this is an old law. It's been around for years. When you have, I believe it's near 3 or 4 more cars behind you and you're in a single lane, one ongoing, one oncoming, and you have, we'll say 4 or more cars behind you. If there's a turnout, you're supposed to turn out and let them go, or otherwise you're impeding traffic. You're literally slowing down the flow of traffic, which increases the risk for accidents. If somebody wants to go faster, get the heck out of the way, let them pass. These laws are there for a reason. Unfortunately, the police, especially in California, they don't care about those laws. They're more interested in the revenue, the generation of revenue for speeding. Okay, because they gotta fill their quota. when there's so many other laws that they could do and bust people on to fill their quota, especially jaywalkers. California has a law that pedestrians have the right of way. In my case, that's bullshit. The road is meant for automobiles. Cross at your own risk. New York City and Texas has that. They strictly enforce for a lot of jaywalking. I don't know about now, but they used to back in the day. Alright? Just to make the roadways safer. That's why we have crosswalks. Okay? If you're too freaking lazy to walk that extra 20, 50 feet, 100 feet just to use a crosswalk, then maybe you shouldn't be walking. I mean, and America's overweight as it is. We're a laughing stock at this point. Don't get me wrong, I love our country, but we're surrounded by so many freaking lazy idiots that don't want to do shit. Every day going to work, I see all the Mexicans out there doing all the hard, labor-intensive shit that we used to do back in the day. Yeah, it kind of pisses me off that they're here, some of them, not all of them, that some of them are here illegally, but they're trying to make a better life for their families back in Mexico, because Mexico is such a messed up country, especially with the drug cartel. You can't blame them. You know, I'd do the same thing just so that way I could provide for my family. And out in Mexico, it's a lot cheaper living. The US dollar is worth more than the peso. So it only makes sense. Plus, we have all these labor laws that protect us so we can actually make a decent wage. Even though our living wage is not correct for today's economy. There's a lot of variables, there's a lot of stuff. And one thing that a lot of people don't realize, when minimum wage goes up, prices go up. Why? Because the industrial age, big corporates are all about money. They don't care about people. They're all about money. That's all they care about. It's a cold, honest truth. But, you know, life is not all fucking sunshines and rainbows. You know, it's a cold, cruel place. It's like, for example, I was working in a shitty minimum wage, dead-end job that was very labor-intensive. Now I'm getting more money, you know, about half to 3/4 more with a hell of a lot less labor and stress on me and more hours. So it's one of those hard things. Anyways, I'm veering off track. Back to the traffic. It's very unsafe the way people are. They try to drive other people's cars instead of driving their own. They really need to fix that. People really need to work on that. In other countries, you actually go through 6 months to a year of driving, learning how to drive properly. Where in California, you just go in for a little test and, oh, look, I got my license. I don't even know how to fucking drive. You know? As long as you can flip a switch, move a lever, and keep it within the lines, you pass. Which, in my case, that's BS. We should kind of go through the same driving school techniques and have a requirement like CHP does, where you actually learn how to drive a car. So, anyways, enough of that topic, because I'll probably have more about that later. And I do plan on getting a dash cam and boosting this channel more, so that way, you know, I can show good examples and teach people what other people do, what the right thing is, and hopefully some of these idiots will see, oh, that's my car. I drive like an a-hole. Look at all these comments. You know, please comment on this. Any positive feedback. I don't need a rass of garbage from people. Now to the gun laws. This is actually a good one. So I want you guys to think about this. You know how we have a lot of gun laws that make it harder and harder to get a firearm. And now we're starting to have laws passed for ammunition. I don't agree with all that. I agree with the right to bear arms. And just for an example too, an AR-15, that's a sporting rifle. It's not an assault rifle. AR does not stand for that. Now, they also did a statistical study on a lot of murderers inside the prisons. What was your weapon of choice of murder? And 90% of them said knife. A couple others said baseball bats, any type of blunt object they could use. There's only like 1-2% that actually said firearm. Guns don't kill people, people kill people. If somebody wants a firearm to kill people, they're going to do it. But a lot of them would rather use a knife because they have a higher chance of getting away with it. They could actually run. We don't have a lot of this crime scene investigation like CIS, Miami, or whatever. No, it doesn't work that way. There's so many cases, so much crud going on in the world that they don't really focus on that type of stuff. They're out there patrolling the streets trying to make it safe for us. So, but here's a good thing. Imagine, because we do have them, a gun-free zone. No guns. If somebody has an intent to kill and they want to use a firearm, is that law going to stop them? Oh, I'm going to kill somebody today with a gun. Oh, look, it's a gun-free zone. I can't do it. No. If a criminal wants to kill someone, they're going to do it. Laws are not going to do anything. It's just words on paper. It's not going to stop them. If they have an intent to kill, they're going to kill. Laws don't do anything. Instead of making it harder for the honest, good citizens on getting a firearm, we should actually have a rule, just like a few other countries, and I'll mention those later when I remember them. I'll look them up and I'll put some links. We have other countries that actually make it a mandatory, like Russia, that every person in every household has to have at least one firearm. Because when that country goes to war, everyone's armed. Are you going to mess with a country where every citizen is armed? No, you're not. That's foolish, because you're going to have to watch your back around every corner and you don't know who's going to kill you. The U.S. should be the same way. It used to be the same way. We had the right to bear arms. Everybody had a firearm. Even the frickin' town fool in the frickin' street drunk. Well, might have over-exaggerated on that a little bit. But, if a bad guy's going to kill, they're going to kill. Laws aren't going to stop them. All these laws are BS. Now, I do believe in one thing. There should be a psychological evaluation. If you are found mentally insane, 5150 or whatever, no, you shouldn't have a firearm. But if you get a mark on your record to where, I don't know, you had a high-speed chase with the police and you lose your right as a citizen to have a firearm, that's bullshit. That's no. There's a lot of good people, especially good people that recovered from past mistakes. Okay? Say there was a criminal assault. A guy assaulted another guy for putting their hands on a woman. Well, that guy that stood up for that woman has now lost his rights and is not allowed to have a firearm for doing the right thing. That is wrong. You shouldn't lose your rights. The only time you should lose your rights is if you're a rapist, child molester, mentally insane, or have a record of wanting to kill people. That should be the only 2 times. Or 4 times. Now, back to my thing where everybody should have a firearm. Everyone should have a firearm, and here's why. If a bad guy is going to commit a crime, and they know the people aren't armed, it makes it easier for them to commit the crime. Now, if everyone was armed, and a bad guy wanted to commit a crime, they're going to think twice. They're not going to do it because in fear of losing their life instantly before they get away with the crime. If everyone had a firearm and went through firearm safety training, and and learned how to shoot a firearm, and they made classes free for U.S. citizens to do so, the world would be a safer place. America would be a safer place. There would be less crime. Less crime means happier country. Happier country means, well, you can think about that. You should be able to put two and two together. Alright? We need to fix our world. We need to fix our country. We need to make it great again. And I'm not saying this because of Donald Trump's, no. We literally need to make the U.S. the way it used to be. We need to have more jobs in the country. We need to have more stuff made in our country and not in China. It hurts me to go to a store and find a lot of our stuff is made in China. A lot of our food products. And it's not just China. A lot of our stuff is made in other countries. My father took a vacation down to Bangkok. Alright? And they make a lot of stuff in their own country. Cigarettes are cheaper. Clothing's cheaper. A lot of stuff is cheaper. On price. The quality is by far 100 times better than what we have here in America. Their clothes actually last. Quality cotton. Quality materials. Made very well. Even for the poor man's clothes out there, made very well. They take pride in their country. They take pride on their products. Their products are cheaper. It's the imported stuff that is not cheap. Converting baht to US dollars, okay? A pack of their smokes made in their country is only $1. A pack of Marlboro Reds, your basic Marlboro Reds, the shorts, not even the hundreds, is $15 out there. Why? Because it's not made by them. It's imported. They want their people to buy their own products. They want to make sure that there are jobs for their population. You can't even own property out there if you're not born and raised in that country. If you're not a citizen of that country, you can't buy property. You cannot own property. But yet here in America, we could have illegals, not just Mexicans. I mean illegals as in Arab, Indian, doesn't matter. Irish, doesn't matter. They could come into this country and we'll pay them over $100,000 to start their life, to start a business and all that. It's not right. I respect the ones that actually try to become a citizen, pay their taxes, because they're not being a financial burden on the U.S. They're actually earning their keep. They're paying their way to live here. It's the illegal people that come into this country that make it hard and suffocate us, which is why prices are so high all the time on taxes. Which is why we're paying so much on our income tax, because we're paying for other people. We're paying for all this stuff. I don't want to pay for that stuff. And then you got people on Section 8 and stuff. If you guys know, it gets me worked up. It's not right what people are doing. People are becoming lazy. People are becoming pathetic. There are still some good ones out there, but not a whole lot. The good ones are dying off, the bad are taking over. Then you got a bunch of millennials that think they know what's going on when they don't. Honestly, you should sit back and watch. You should take your time to do research. You see on a lot of these news places, especially on YouTube, they're going around and interviewing people, especially millennials, and they don't even know what the hell they're talking about. Why? Because they didn't put the work in to study. They didn't put the research in and the time and the blood, sweat, and tears to research and know what is going on. They're just a mainstream setup that are following what other people are doing because they think it's right. And they think they could get away with it. In reality, you can't. If I had my way and you were protesting in the middle of the highway, I'll run your fucking ass over and I will not be responsible for it. That is your fault. Especially when it goes back to the law. The roadways are for cars, not people. There's actually a lot of states that are just saying, go ahead, run the people over. Just run them over. We're not going to fine you for it. We're not going to cite you for vehicular manslaughter. No. There are law enforcement that are actually promoting all of this. And you know what? I don't really blame them. They don't want those type of people slandering their country. Can you blame them? Would you want them to slander our country? Make us look bad, hurt other citizens because they're a bunch of crybabies? They won't do things the legal and proper way. They have to go and destroy their own cities. Other hard-working mom and pop shops that worked hard to get what they got, they just want everything handed to them on a silver platter. You guys watch the news. You guys see the videos on Facebook and YouTube. You guys know what's going on. It's not right. So that's my rant. A lot of other countries are a lot harder, a lot stricter because they have dictatorship. They got kings and queens still. They got all that type of stuff. A good example, look at Russia with Putin. If you even talk bad about him or start causing slanderous riots in the street, you are killed. That stuff will not be tolerated. Now, if you do things proper and legal, that's tolerable because you're doing things like an adult, not a child, not a vandalous, punk, little heathen child. You're doing things proper. Now, there are some countries that take it overboard, like North Korea. You say one bad thing, you're killed. Doesn't matter if you do it right or not. A lot of other countries are very strict, very hard. Our country is just so laid back. You could do whatever you want. You could take a poop right here in the freaking parking lot, and it's okay. You can shit on someone's car. It's okay. It's not right. We need to make this country better. We need to fix it. Now, there are some things that I don't agree with Trump on, but you know what? He's actually trying to make change. He's actually trying to make it better for our country, for our U.S. citizens. And think about it this way, the Muslim ban. Why don't you ask a military vet that went and fought out in those countries? Ask him what goes on. You're going to find that a lot of those people in those countries, they want us Americans dead because they don't agree with our lifestyle. They don't agree with our freedoms, our religious freedoms, our beliefs. They don't agree with that. They don't like that. They hate that. A lot of those people are death to Americans. Are you really going to let people that want to destroy and kill your country into your country? You're going to let those type of people in? I wouldn't. I don't feel safe with people with people from other countries that want to kill us. I don't feel safe about that. I don't like that. Quite honestly, I agree with the Muslim ban. Now, I'm not saying all Muslims are bad, but a mass majority of them, well over 50%, are bad. And I don't want those people in our country. I don't. I really don't. I don't want someone in my country that wants to kill me. No, it's not right. We have enough of our own problems. We don't need to worry about them. We don't. I'm not going to worry about it. I'm not going to deal with that type of stuff. So, everyone that watches this video, I would appreciate it if you guys sat back and actually thought about it and paid attention to what's going on. Just do what I do. Sit back, take some time to relax, and just watch people. Watch their actions, watch their motives. Listen. You're going to see a lot of people make fools of themselves. It's actually quite entertaining. It's very entertaining. We got idiots walking around with their pants between their legs. Like, that's cool? Nobody wants to see your fucking moldy ass underwear with skid marks all over the place. Come on. Nobody wants to see that crap. No one. That's embarrassment to my country. That's embarrassment to the people that fought in wars to stand up for our country. I do understand that they fought for us to have those freedoms. But come on, use your common sense. Pants are meant to be worn properly. That's an embarrassment. And then, you know, go to a Walmart. Just go to a Walmart and just sit on a bench or just walk around and watch people. It's very hilarious the way people act and they freak out over a simple little thing. Especially when they go to buy something and it rings up $2 and yet it's supposed to be on sale for $1. They'll flip their lid. So I hope this video gets out to people. I hope they watch this. I hope they come to an understanding of what they're doing if they're doing something wrong. Come on, people. We got to make this country great. We got to fix it. There's just no way around it. You can't just wait for someone else to fix it. And when someone else is trying to fix it, you're just complaining about it, trying to make it worse. Prices of things go up as minimum wage goes up. We're going to be expecting a tax hike soon on gas for the roadways. Because we can't afford to fix those roadways. It's costing way too much. There's other states that are actually raising a state tax so they could fix their roadways. Colorado is one of them. Anyways, thank you guys for your time. I really appreciate it. Just watch, listen, try to fix yourself.